prevails as the people's choice.
It's going to turn on us, I think. Well, hi. Studying.
Get this done.
Oh, you're getting your finishers.
They're racing. Very, very tough beginning for Lila's Lucky Lady, who missed it by a good 5 in his second last. Now, one who did not miss it is Diplomatica, the hot favorite in hand and in command, 3 lengths clear from Fast to Fortune, attempting to win 3 in a row. Rental Pool prowls about 5 lengths from the front, and Diplomatica's lead seems to be ever widening. After that, Rabbit 22. The Rabbit is about 13 lengths from the lead and far, far clear from the awkwardly beginning Lila's Lucky Lady. Up the barn side they go, and Harry has a tight hold on Diplomatica. Diplomatica strides along with a 5-length lead. Fast to Fortune lay second. After that, Rental Pool lay third, but now 7, 8 lengths from the lead, and an absolute mile clear from Rabbit 22 and Lila's Lucky Lady off the far turn. Diplomatica's lead has diminished to 2.5, maybe 3. Diplomatica strides along. Fast to Fortune in second, 2.5 clear from Rental Pool, and Gallardo's working hard on that one, and those 3 are still a mile clear from everybody. Diplomatica set down for the drive. The 3 to 5 favorites lead is definitely in peril. Here comes Fast to Fortune to the outside. Meanwhile, Diplomatica fights back beautifully. Diplomatica has won 2 in a row. And they're racing. Fredonian won the start, and Fredonian and Moment shoot off for the lead. Eisenstadt takes up the running in third. After that, it is Smart Call, and the one at the rear is Run Leah Run, looking to win 2 in a row from 10 lengths out of it. And the hot favorite Moment gets down to the inside in search of 4 consecutive wins, does it reasonably, and leads it by 1. In second is Fredonian. After that, Eisenstadt to the inside of Smart Call. Run Leah Run, now just 6 lengths from the lead as they head up the Canterbury Park barn side, and they are chasing Moment, the 1 to 5 favorite. Moment has company in the shape of Fredonian, who is within a neck. After that, Smart Call covering up Eisenstadt, and Run Leah Run's beginning to run on, but still 5 lengths behind the hot favorite Moment, and Moment is looking for a moment to shine in the winner's circle and is running away from the other 4 and doing so under his own power. Now Eisenstadt rolls into second and goes by the white horse Fredonian. Then it's Run Leah Run and Smart Call. They're at the top of the stretch. Constantino Roman has been calling the shots every step of the way, and it's Moment still leading it by 1.5 lengths, maybe 2. Outside of that is Eisenstadt. Then on the wide side, Fredonian, but Moment has turned away the second place horse Eisenstadt, and Moment is gone. Racing. Bit of a slow start for Private, Lonely in last. Great beginning for Bodenheimer. And Bodenheimer, looking to win 2 in a row, is very, very fast. Outside of that is Released to the inside of the white horse, Macho Rocco. And those 3 are in a line heading into the far turn. The next trio, Inside Out, Lonely Private, Future Perfect, and outside of that, Bayou Colonel. And the one in last is the 8-year-old Samurai Mike, 10 lengths from the front. They're at the top of the stretch. Bodenheimer at 3-1 continues to show the way, and it's Bodenheimer leading it from Released and Lonely Private to the inside. Outside of that, Macho Rocco. Between them is Future Perfect, and after that we come back to Lonely Private on the inside of Released, and they're chasing Bodenheimer, and they're not catching Bodenheimer, and Bodenheimer wins by 2. It is 5.
Do you need to get in here, Q?
Not really.
And they're racing. Perfect line out of the gate. Jose Patio has good speed, and so does Arvu's Taboo, and BL's Concerto with Harry at a fat price with speed in the lead. And that trio is about 3-4 lengths clear from Protonic and Gin. That one is to the inside of Rejection Hurts, and between them, Kapow. After that, we have Charismo, 10 lengths from the lead, and the lead belongs to Jose Patio. A long shot, BL's Concerto continues to bug, and off the far turn, Jose Patio shows the way. Protonic and Gin's behind them, waiting for a safe place to run. Now gets to the outside of BL's Concerto. Arvu's Taboo needs to do more. Likewise for Rejection Hurts, and they're heading for home. It is Jose Patio kicking clear 1.5. Protonic and Gin, the 2-5 favorite, bearing down on Jose Patio, and they're locked in battle with 150 to go. But Protonic and Gin has taken the lead. Jose Patio fights back, but it's not good enough, and Protonic and Gin prevails. 257 in race 5.
What in the hell's the matter? Who are you looking at? Who? What? I missed it. The meddler? Yeah. Meddler's the best. What are those hooks called? The hooks?
And they're racing. Perfect commencing to race 6. Mizzen G Ma is the gray on the inside with terrific early speed. And at 10-1, Mizzen G Ma opens up by 4. After that, Grandiose Summer is racing to the inside of Dixie Girl 2, and behind them is Pat's Gal, 7 lengths from the lead. To the inside of the Irish Jerusalema. After that, Dr. Z Zelso whips them in, but just 8 lengths behind this tearaway long shot, Mizzen G Ma. Mizzen G Ma and LAV 2.5. Grandiose Summer takes up the running. That's the 4 in second, cutting the lead to 1. On the inside, Pat's Gal could be a menacing presence. Jerusalema also in touch with the field, swinging wide, and wider than that is Dixie Girl 2. And they head for home, and that's it for Mizzen G Ma. She put on the brakes. In tightly, Grandiose Summer and Jerusalema. Behind them is Pat's Gal clomping up to the outside. 3 and 4, locked in battle with a football field to go. Jerusalema, Grandiose Summer, digs deep. Jerusalema, photo! The favorite Jerusalema may.
Don't listen to Jeff and his propaganda.
No, I sat out there and did my finished up my.
I'm just telling you right now, it's bad.
I know it's bad, KG. I was out there.
No, it's Scooby
Racing, another picture-perfect start. And the bookenders win the start. Mizana being sent for the lead by Constantino Roman. And Curious Ingi and LAV take over at 13-1. 1 lap to go, 4-7-1-6-3-5-2. And they're chasing Curious Ingi. And Curious Ingi puts the pedal to the metal as the birds scatter and opens up by 2 on Mizena. The favored Golden Gopher, 4 lengths out of it, 1.5 to the good of Fat and Furious fourth, still chasing that fast pace. 5 after that, She's Got the Power, and now She's Got the Power has about a 10-length deficit to make up. A length and a half clear from Come On, Sweet Pea, and the one in last is She Be Glamorous. They have less than a half mile to go as they negotiate into the far turn. Curious Ingi trying to trigger an upset. Mizana still lays second. Golden Gopher pinned to the inside. Outside of that, Fat and Furious, 5 lengths to the good of Come On, Sweet Pea, 7 out of it, shoved on hard. Then it's She's Got the Power and She Be Glamorous. Mizana is jumping the long shot, Curious Ingi. Golden Gopher sequestered. Outside of that, Fat and Furious, and then it's Come On, Sweet Pea, and they head for home. Curious Ingi desperately trying to hold on. Mizana falls into the lead between them. Golden Gopher outside of that. Then we come to Fat and Furious finishing quickly. Mizana, Golden Gopher, Curious Ingi, Golden Gopher, Elite Skayuma.
Hit him with the jets at first and then
Yeah. On you go. Well, here we go now.
good luck.
Good luck to you too. Let's really try to win this one, all right? It's a big one.
And they're racing. Bad start for Icy Will Burn Ya. Icy Will Burn Ya, terrible out of the gate, lost 10. Meanwhile, the others kick on, and Saint Serena at 6-5 shows really good early speed. Ellie's Little Diva's prominent, and so is Barbara Roloff at a fat 15-1. Bail Out Keela, 6-5, along with Saint Serena, being shoved on to keep up, about 5 lengths from the lead. Joe Mama Sassy right behind that one. Then we come to Picaflor, and number 2, Icy Will Burn Ya, unseeded Jockey Derby Glass, and is running a miss. The rest are traveling to the top of the stretch, and Saint Serena and Harry showing the way by 5. It is Saint Serena with Bail Out Keela cutting into the margin. After that is Picaflor. They're into the final 150, and Saint Serena holding on. Bail Out Keela lunging, but Bail Out Keela is chasing after the wind and not catching it.
Comes the anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
When I go over the changes, would it be wrong to say thanks a lot, Canada? Would that be inappropriate? Jeff, I just looked out PA's thing. I can't see Valley Fair. So I think I should say thanks a lot, Canada.
They'll do a club.
Good afternoon and welcome to racing from beautiful Canterbury Park here in Shakopee, Minnesota under hazy skies. The main track is fast and the turf. If you'll open up your programs, we'll go over the changes on tonight's 9-race program. Races 1 through 6, there are no changes. 1 through 6 are clean on the card. First scratch happens in race number 7. Turn to race number 7. We scratch number 1. Carrots count. Race 7, take out the 1. Our late daily double, races 8 and 9, feature the quarter horses. Scratch in each of those races starting in race number 8. In race 8, we scratch the 4, Irish Laddie. Jockey change to Alex Ramirez on the 1 and Edward Escobedo on the 2. Ramirez on the 1, Escobedo on the 2, and the 4 is out. Final scratch on the card happens in race number 9. In the 9th race, we scratch number 5, My VGW Hero. Race 9, scratch 5. Up next, Jeff Madej, Angela Herman to take you through all the pertinent information of a big week ahead at Canterbury Park.
Okay, I'm going to get...
Well, good evening and welcome to Canterbury Park. Jeff Madej along with Angela Herman live from the Dark Star Press Box inside the First Bet studio. Beautiful Wednesday night of racing ahead. We've got, I think, some good wagering opportunities. Angela, of course, part of the Steam team along with Paul Allen and Kevin Gorg. They'll be giving us plenty of winners throughout the evening into the late night. Now,
I'll try.
jockeys and trainers, we should talk about those.
We should.
Because, you know, the horse is very important, but given two horses of the same ability, the jockey can make all the difference in the world. So let's take a look at those jockey standings where we're going to find a familiar name now atop the leaderboard.
It was an interesting opening weekend for him, wasn't it? Harry Hernandez got off to, I believe, an over double-digit start and has taken the lead right away now. He's 3 ahead of Alonso Quinones in a tie for second with both Lindy Wade and apprentice Daler Barrios Lopez. They all sit in second together with different ways to get there, but just a couple clear of Gallardo, too. And we saw him a couple of times last year, but has ridden a lot more for Mac Robertson this year and has made his way into third in the standings. They are behind Harry Hernandez, who gets a lot of mounts. You can see 54 starts. I mean, it seems like there's barely a race he doesn't ride, but he has assumed the jockey's lead as a result. Now, on the trainer side of things, we ended off last year's trainers race with a very close one, and it's getting close again. Joel Burnt on top just by 2 over Tim Padilla, who got up to a very quick beginning of the meet. Mac Robertson sitting in third with Gary Shearer. Esteban Martinez and a few others are at 4, but kind of like last year, I think that race might stay a bit closer throughout, where in the jockey's race you usually see a handful of names separate themselves from the rest, but it is a very deep and different jocks room than it has been in recent years.
Yeah, it is fun because we're seeing a lot of new names down there. Now, Harry does ride a lot of horses. His agent is Hall of Famer Scotty Stevens, retired jockey, now an agent. So Scotty's out there hustling and getting Harry a lot of mounts. But there's some very qualified jockeys in that jocks room, I think, and that's what makes racing competitive here, I think, because it can. These athletes can make a big difference in the outcome of a race by getting their mounts into the right position. So keeping an eye on the jocks, seeing who's hot, see who's and that might be some of it too, just like any other sport. When they're tuned in, when they're really in the zone, that's when you see a lot of good things happen. So that's what your job is to point those things out to the people, you and Kevin and Paul.
Try, yeah, and to find jockeys that specialize in certain things. You know, there's some of our riders who are very strong with sprint races as opposed to longer races. They can ride both breeds. Maybe they're better on turf, maybe they're better on dirt, and it's a matter of bringing them all together from the different places that they come from to see how they shine at Canterbury, because this turf course, this dirt can be very different from wherever they've come from, and whoever adapts fastest tends to get up there in the standings. And sometimes with some of the new names, you can catch them at a price, at least for a little while in the beginning part of their meet, just because of the familiarity factor.
Absolutely. Now, one rider that we know is very good at something is Jermaine Bridgman, who just excels on the Canterbury Park turf course. Paul Allen had a chance to visit with him about his career and some of the incidents he's been involved in. Let's take a look.
Canterbury Park, awesome to have jockey Jermaine Bridgman back. You've been riding for approaching 20 years, and you're getting close to 1,000 wins. You really enjoy riding the turf, don't you?
I do. Well, I win more races on the turf, so yeah. But, you know what's so funny? The first major fall that I had was on the grass, and I always thought it was my mistake why it happened. So I really studied and tried to get better at the grass, just because I did blame myself for not knowing enough about the grass. And, you know, I do a lot of watching of grass races. Like, you know, in the mornings, if I get finished early in the morning, I'll watch the races from England, and at night I'll watch the races in Japan, and, you know, most of them are turf races.
Wow.
You know, you can always learn something. You know, it doesn't even matter who you watch or if you know who you're watching, but, you know, good, you can recognize good riding.
Really, really happy to see you, man. God bless you, and best of luck this season.
Thank
all
you.
right?
Thank you very much.
Jermaine Bridgman.
Welcome back, Jermaine Bridgman. It's nice to get a chance to talk to all those riders down in the room, whether they've been here for a while or they're new on the scene. Paul Allen gets the scoop on our Jockeys Colony each week. Now, back to the horses side of things. To begin a pick 4 tonight, I do like a bit of a price on top. Now, we're going to talk more about that sequence later in the card, but my play of the day is I'm a Harley 2 in race number 4. Now, he's won his second race off a layoff the last 2 years that he started off his campaign up here at Canterbury, and this turf course is his very favorite place to play. He's got 4 of his 5 lifetime wins over our turf, and I'm a Harley 2 drew the rail in a race that doesn't have a whole bunch of pace like he has. I'm a Harley 2 could pull a mild upset in the crossover, kind of, in those horizontal sequences. That's the one in race 4. I'm a Harley 2.
Love that play of the day, Ange. Lots of winners. Lots of winners. And we're going to need them because we're here to make some money. And one way you can make some money is playing in tonight's $40 Canterbury Park feeder on ExpressBet. Now, if you're on track here, you can play it on your phone, on your app. If you're watching across the nation, outside of Minnesota, laptop, or using the app on your mobile phone as well. But what you're playing for is a chance to win an entry into next Wednesday's handicapping contest, which has a $300 entry fee, and that features the Northern Stars Turf Festival. We just drew entries for that night of racing. Really a fabulous night. 5 turf stakes. We've got another dirt stake race. 9 races is all. Decent fields, horses coming from all over. Why don't you tell us about that?
It is our biggest night of racing. We're going to have a lot of betting opportunities that come along with these races, and they're some of the best that we're going to run all season long. Like you said, it brings all comers. Horses from outside, some of the locals representing them, including one in Vermilion, who you caught up with, I know, this morning, taking over and working on the turf. Not something that we see too often here. You don't see a lot of horses working on our turf course, but what did you see? Because we heard a little bit from Harry, who was on his back, but how did it look?
Well, as far as I could tell, and I had to rely on what I heard from the trainer and the jockey, the horse really covered the turf well. He's got that kind of long stride. He doesn't his feet don't come up very high off the ground. He kind of glides along, but he seemed to be getting hold of that turf course. Harry was happy after that work this morning. He's entered in the Canterbury Derby. Of course, he ran in the Santa Anita Derby. We saw him win here at Canterbury, and it looked like he was beat, if you remember that, where Xavier Dave, was it, that came right up to him, went by him, and we're all up in the press box. He's beat. What's going on? He's 1-9. Boom. Horse
comes
takes
right back
on. It's like he wants that challenge. So I think seeing him going long on the turf should be a lot of fun, and that's one of our biggest purse, $100,000 Canterbury Derby.
Right, and what we talk about with these nights too is that it's not just one kind of race. And if you like any certain kind of race, because we all have our specialties, some people like maiden races, some people like them short, long, dirt, turf, they're all coming together on that night, and you will get the cream of what's on our backside, and horses coming from the outside as well. And we talk about the timing with this too, where it really can come up nicely on horses' schedules that we might not normally see here. They come here, they get that prep to whatever they're going for next, and it just works out perfectly to where they come together in a spot that we typically wouldn't see those sorts of horses meet, at least up here in Canterbury. So it's very exciting to watch the collision course, I guess you would say, of all the horses that get together for Northern Stars night. But I'm looking forward to it. We've already started delving into some of the races, and you just can't start early enough. It is a really cool night for everybody.
All right, now Kevin was handicapping the Curtis Sampson Oaks, which is a deep field. He's only changed his mind 3 times.
Yeah, I know.
So give him another couple days, and he'll
change it 7 more times.
Yeah, he'll like all 9 of them. But Brad Cox will have horses here. Mike Maker is shipping horses in. You've got Giroux coming in to ride. Biskitsa's coming in to ride. These are some big names, nationally known, which is going to lead, I think, to very big betting pools. Last year we handled $4.7 million. I think we're going to be up close to that again this coming Wednesday, just because of the array of wagers. We've got an all-turf pick 5, all stakes turf pick 5 with a 10% takeout.
Yeah.
We've got the post time pick 4, of course, that we have every day with 10%. The final 5 with a 10% takeout. We also have that $1 turf pick 3 that we offer on Wednesday nights with the 14% takeout. We offered that last week, and the payout I thought was pretty nice when you had a $5.80 horse, $3.20 and $10 or something. It paid nearly $80 for $1, which seemed to me to be a very generous payout.
Yeah, for really only beating one of the heavy favorites in the whole sequence. I mean, that's what you get with lower takeout and higher minimum. And tonight, as you can see behind us, it is races 2, 4, and 6. And really not a whole bunch of changes throughout the card, but we got fortuitous in those turf races too. They go as is, and I'm a Harley too in one of those. There's some other prices to be found in that sequence, and that's the ticket that you see behind me. Now, I did spread a little bit in the middle. I did use I'm a Harley too. There's a couple of other horses in there who make some sense to try to upset the likely favorite. And we will talk a little bit more about the sequence before race 2. I'll be down on track as we prepare to get this turf pick 3 going. But that's my ticket back there, $18, a little bit bigger investment than it was last week. But I do like a few prices along the way, and I'm a Harley too is just one of them. I also like Alquani in race number 6, as you can see. She's the angle horse. We'll dig a bit more into Alquani. She's one of the biggest horses I've I've ever seen up close, but she looks like she might be able to lead the 6th a good part of the way. And this sequence could be very, very lucrative if it plays out the way that I'm seeing it.
And if you're new to Canterbury Park or new to horse racing or maybe haven't played wagers like this, how do you figure the cost? Because you can see Angela has 3 horses and 2 legs and 2 in the 3rd leg. Well, you simply multiply the number of horses in leg 1 times the number of horses that you have in leg 2. 3 times 3 is 9. Times 2 is 18. It's $1 per combination. There's 18 combinations, $18. And that's how you figure out what that ticket costs. But you don't have to just take one horse in each leg. You can single if you want to and go deep in others, but just put that ticket together. Try to find a way to get to the finish line with all 3 winners and get paid for it. And that's the beauty of those pick wagers, because if you can beat a favorite or 2 favorites or even all 3, that's when you're talking about maybe even 4-digit payouts.
Right, and the horizontal options are going to be aplenty next Wednesday, as we mentioned, but this pick 3 is in play every Wednesday, and we do keep it on the turf. If turf racing is your thing and we don't have a sequence that loops them together well enough for you, that is the solution. Now, we're 13 minutes away from race number 1, and I believe that one of those tickets, that being in the post-time pick 4, as well as analysis from race 1, is coming up soon from Kevin.
Before we go to Kevin, though, something special happened on the backside. You would have thought it was Christmas because Santa Claus came to town. Let's take a look. And what you're going to see here is indeed Santa Claus and a reindeer and a bunch of kids living on the backside that are sons and daughters of the grooms and the caretakers of the horses. And if we can get it here, I swear Santa Claus was here. Now people are thinking I'm nuts. Here we go. Look at these kids.
Oh my gosh.
What do you say, CJ? You say thank you?
So there's a lot of great things that take place on the Canterbury backside, and this was one of them. This was brought to you by the Canterbury Park Chaplaincy and the ministry. They gathered all the kids together, got them into the chapel. Here comes a truck from Shields full of bicycles, and every kid came running out of the chapel and was presented with a bicycle. And you know, if you lived on the backside or you get back there, that's a great mode of transportation. So that's a wonderful thing. You saw Paul Allen was involved, Sally as well. Justin Revac may or may not have been Santa Claus. We don't know. But it was really a cool event back there, and the kids appreciated it.
That's
the
amazing.
families appreciated it. It is a family on the backstretch because even though they're competing for the same dollars on the racetrack, they're all in it together when it comes into the day-to-day operations, and everyone's there to help each other out. So pretty cool event there. So thanks to Paul and Sally and everyone involved with the ministry on the backstretch. Now, you can see the horses coming up into the walking ring. We're 10 minutes away. We're going to have a little bit compressed post times, it sounds like. We're going to have about 20 to 23 minutes between races here instead of the normal 25. So just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the monitors. You'll know how far it is. And when Angie's in the paddock or Kevin, you know it's time to listen and bet anyway. That doesn't matter how many minutes are between posts. You signal it's time to get to the windows. So horses are circling in there. I know Kevin is watching this race. He wants to get ready for that post-time pick 4. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, I am, Jeff, and great way to start the post-time pick 4. Look at that betting board. Wide open in the wagering. No overwhelming favorites here. And a couple of horses that have already caught my eye, including this horse right here, Falconite, bouncing on the toes right here for trainer Nevada Litvin. He's off to a brilliant start, clicking at 40% in the early part of the meeting. Harry Hernandez, red hot, last year's champion jockey after getting off to an 0-for-21 start. He looks back in form like he was throughout the entire balance of last season's meet. Falconite's got early speed. It doesn't really show that in his most recent start, but he had trouble in that race at Oaklawn Park. In for 10,000, 6.5. I expect the 2 to be very prominent early at a fair price. The 1's taking a lot of money, and Kelsey Haar, I think, is sitting on some wins this week. Keep an eye on jockey Kelsey Haar. She hasn't had a lot of horses go to post at much below 5-1, so she hasn't been given a chance to win. Some of the horses she rides now are looking like they're rounding into form, so keep an eye on jockey Kelsey Haar. I think she's sitting on some wins, might even be multiple wins here tonight. She can ride them fair and square. She's got a horse here on a big drop. Maiden special back into maiden 10. I don't love the post out of the chute at 6.5 furlong distance, but this horse on the inside looks live. Both the Track Phantom and Angela Herman, two of the most respected handicappers here at Canterbury, are on that horse. I'm on the 6. I'm on Not a Dance in lukewarm fashion. The blinkers come off for Perry Wolf. I love those Tampa shippers. We've talked about them a lot here, year in and year out, going back to the Dark Star days here in the press box. 0 for 15 bothers me, but this horse has faced some tough competition. I think the 6.5 furlongs hits this guy right between the eyes. I think he's ready for a big effort tonight. 5-2 is the price. The other horse I want to talk about is the 8 Northern Cocktail. Izzy Hernandez for Chip Woolley. This horse caught my eye at Turf Paradise, ran a couple of winning races. If you go back to April, I love the outside post. I think that gives the jockey, Izzy, some options here. Really good-looking gray down here in the paddock, too. A lot of good energy and alacrity here. I think that Paul Allen Stout Northern Cocktail is very live here in the first. I've got a pick 4 ticket that I'll get to once the horses get on the track, but you can spread a little bit here. You can tell by the betting. You're going to want to have some options in this post-time pick 4, so spread accordingly. I've got at least 3 of these horses. I might add a couple on my secondary tickets because this race looks like a humdinger. They leave the paddock now. They head down that tunnel soon. The Bugler, and we have another week of racing at Canterbury Park. Get your bets in now. Sir Leonard Dykert brings him onto the track for race number 1. First of 9 tonight at Canterbury. Win, play, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta, daily double, and that 10% takeout, 50-cent post-time pick 4. That 10% takeout, the lowest in the industry. We've seen some huge payoffs here already in the early part of the season. Get your pick 4 tickets together. Very nice sequence to start the card. Led by this wide open maiden race at 6.5 furlongs. They'll be at the gate inside now of 6 minutes. Do note tonight, fans, that we are going to have shorter times in between the races. Trying to beat the air quality here in Shakopee. We're going to have less minutes between races. Plan accordingly for all the bets you're getting together, especially later in the card. We've got that pick 5. You're going to want to get those bets in just a little bit earlier. Pick 5 starts in race number 3. Normally we have 23 to 25 minutes in between races. Tonight, more like 19 or 20 minutes. Just want to give you the heads up on that. We'll talk about it throughout and wish you the best of luck tonight right out here at the park. Okay, race fans, time for our Pick 4 ticket tonight. It's a $24 ticket. We'll start here in race number 1, and we're going to use 4, 6, and 8. He's connected. Looks like a horse that sooner or later is going to get to the money. Tim Padilla's barn going too well to overlook that horse at 7-1. I'm on Not a Dance as my top selection. Paul Allen's on the 8, Northern Cocktail. Can't fault anybody that wants to modify my ticket and add the 1 and or the 2. They look like the prime players here in a very difficult race to narrow down race 1. In race 2, I'll use the 5 and the 6. The 2 most likely winners, in my opinion. Both are horses that look like they're sitting on a win. For barns I trust, Kevin Eckelberry and Tony Rengsdorf. In race 3, I'll use the 2 and the 3. Last Martini and Furry Cap. One has speed, one is a closer. We'll try to spread late, and I think that 4th race is a good place to spread them out a little bit. 2, 3, 5, and 8. 5 and 8 look pretty logical, and 2 and 3 look like they're going to be good-sized prices here. So maybe we can get a long shot home and get that pick 4 to pay a couple $100. That's a $24 investment. You can play my ticket. You can modify it by adding or subtracting horses, but you can't win it if you don't get in it. The pick 4 starts in 3 minutes. Get them in now. Good luck.
And they approach the starting gate. Wednesday racing at Canterbury, courtesy of Michelob Ultra. We welcome our featured groups. They include Improving, Aflance Financial Company Outing, BGLW, Coordinated Business Systems and Trust, Minnesota Concrete Council, Principal Asset Management, Lexi's 30th birthday, and Minnesota Home Guys. As they cut through the haze and head behind the starting gate, we're about ready for the first of 8, beginning with race 1, which is courtesy of Loeffler, the Upper Midwest's largest privately owned business technology and service provider. The first at 6.5, beginning the post time pick 4. with a nation low 10% takeout. Welcome to Canterbury Park. We have the all-turf pick 3 beginning race 2. But first, 8 in the gate for the first. And they're racing. Slow beginning for that 5, Finbar Fury. Swift beginning for Burn Boss. And Burn Boss at 45-1 gets down to the inside with Derby Glass and opens up 2. After that, Water to Wine. Trapped to the inside of Falconite. And Falconite rolls up to a joint lead. To the outside of that, favored of that long shot Burn Boss. And now Water to Wine and Kelsey, they want to go. They split runners to the inside of Not a Dance, and we have 4 astern into the turn. After that, He's Connected, and He's Connected is attached to West Bay. They're only 5 lengths from the lead, and they're all clumped together with a quarter of a mile to go. They approach the top of the stretch, and Burn Boss has fended challenges to this point and still leads it by 1. To the inside is West Bay, and to the outside, Water to Wine, and on the wide side is Falconite. That's the gray, and those 4 line up into the final furlong. Behind them, He's Connected, the one back in last, Not a Dance, and up goes West Bay, and West Bay at 18-1 kicks clear beautifully. It's West Bay and Erica Murray to trigger an upset in the first. 3-1-7. Number 3, West Bay, the unofficial winner. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Canterbury Park and Budweiser have partnered, raising donations for scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled military all June. We offer up $1 from Budweiser cans sold, and $5 pins are for sale at the bars. So please support if you are so inclined. And thank you, Budweiser, and thank you those who support and defend via the military. 3-1-7-4. The first race, official. First exacta $70.90. The 50-cent trifecta paid $1,827. The first trifecta, Murray with Har with Derby. And into the winner's enclosure, it is West Bay and Erica Murray. This one is owned and trained by Lacey DeShazo. The upset-minded West Bay. Race number 2 is courtesy of Appalados. That's the official vehicle supplier to Canterbury Park. There's a location around the corner, Appleford Shakopee. The second race at CBY is on a turf course listed as firm. And the inner rail is set at 20. No scratches, no rider changes for the second. This one begins the 14% takeout, $1 all turf pick 3. It's on races 2, 4, and 6. Best of luck, and welcome to Canterbury Park.
Grooms are the unsung heroes of racing. They care for horses each day, often starting well before the sun rises and working into the evenings. Each week, the Minnesota Horsemen's Benevolent and Protective Agency, the organization that represents trainers, grooms, and owners, honors a groom in a winner's circle presentation. And with us this evening is Jose Zapata, the Minnesota HBPA Groom of the Week. He works for Gary Shearer, and he's been with the Shearer Racing family since 1999, first working for Richie. He's been to racetracks all around Middle America, including Arlington, Hawthorne, the Fairgrounds, and Canterbury Park. Gary says that having Jose in the shed row is like having another trainer in the barn. He's extremely knowledgeable about horses and has an intuitive sense with them. And he has been with the Shearer family as a result for the past 2 decades. Congratulations, Jose, on being the Minnesota HBPA Groom of the Week.
For the first, and they're racing. Slow beginning for that 5, Finbar Fury. Swift beginning for Burn Boss, and Burn Boss at 45-1 gets down to the inside with Derby Glass and opens up 2. After that, Water to Wine, trapped to the inside of Falconite, and Falconite rolls up to a joint lead to the outside of that favored of that long shot Burn Boss. And now Water to Wine and Kelsey, they want to go. They split runners to the inside of Not a Dance, and we have 4 astern into the turn. After that, He's Connected, and He's Connected is attached to West Bay. They're only 5 lengths from the lead, and they're all clumped together with a quarter of a mile to go. They approach the top of the stretch, and Burn Boss has fended challenges to this point and still leads it by 1. To the inside is West Bay, and to the outside, Water to Wine, and on the wide side is Falconite. That's the gray, and those 4 line up into the final furlong. Behind them, He's Connected, the one back in last, Not a Dance, and up goes West Bay, and West Bay at 18-1 kicks clear beautifully. It's West Bay and Erica Murray to trigger an upset in the first. 3-1-7.
A big upset to start race number 1 with an 18-1 winner. A lot of the pick 4 tickets, including yours truly, blown out of the water by that crazy long shot in the first. Nice ride by Miss Murray. She wins easily. Second half of the double also starts our $1 all-turf pick 3. 80-1 value last week on a couple of favorites and a third choice. It's races 2, 4, and 6. When you're betting this tonight, you're betting races 2, 4, and 6. It's a $1 all-turf pick 3 with a low 14% takeout. And this race, a great way to start it with number 1, Latin Nikita. Jay Litza does some awesome analysis in the Star Tribune. He's got this one on top. Exits a race where Midnight Current, last year's Horse of the Year, ran second. This horse showed some nice middle pace speed through the interior of that race. Draws the inside. I think looks super live at 6-1. I've got this horse third, but absolutely believe this horse can win. If you're doing that turf pick 3, I would give that horse a long look with Constantino Roman in the saddle. The 2-horse opened up at 3-1, 10-1 morning line. Lindy Wade gets the call here for a great trainer, Mike Beeler, Hall of Famer here. In from Will Rogers, off a win. They don't run turf races at Will Rogers, so here with a purpose and looking good in the paddock. 3 is Hurricane Hunter. Carlo Lopez gets the call for Mr. Silva. In from Turf Paradise, photoed last time with a horse called Gypsy Wife. Gypsy Wife is the 6-5 favorite. This horse photoed with that horse, and you can see this horse is double digits. So if you're, again, looking for a value-laden horse who looks good in the paddock, there's a good look at the 3 right there. Hurricane Hunter is sneaky here, no doubt about it. Number 4 is Fall Moon. The Q, Alonso Quinones for Tim Padilla. Potent combination, red hot here in the opening month of racing. The Padilla barn, north of 40% winners. Tricky part for me here is the 0 for 9 on the Canterbury turf. Does have some good turf figures, is in from Tampa. We've talked about horses shipping in from Tampa Bay Downs having success. There's an angle there for sure, including the connections. I'm going to take a pass this time and tab it for later, and 8-1 up on the board. Gypsy Wife is the horse to beat. Harry Hernandez, top jockey astride for Kevin Eckelberry. Good to see Kevin here. He won a big stakes race at a giant price last week at Prairie Meadows. This guy can train him up fair and square. And, of course, his son was a tremendous jockey here for years in Rye Eckelberry. So, yeah, Turf Paradise shipper has race recency in her back pocket. She's very consistent. Look at those turf figures, 71, 74, 74. You want consistency? If you like to bet exactas, look at this. 12 of 28 in her career, she's finished first or second. So I get it. She's favored. I'm going to try to beat her, but that turf $1 pick 3 without Gypsy Wife. My top pick is on the outside. I'm going to try Intense Company. Don't love the layoff. Hasn't raced since September, but man, she loves Canterbury's turf course. 4 starts, a third, and 2 wins. So 3 for 4 in the top 3 placings. The workouts are solid. Tony Rengsdorf's a trainer we trust, and Jermaine Bridgeman on the turf is usually money in the bank. So I think this horse gets a good stalking trip. Maybe gets first run on Gypsy Wife and gets the money here. Looks really good, too, on the muscle down here in the paddock at 3-1. I'll try Intense Company. Really good-looking turf race here. Mile and a 16th. Fillies and Mares battle. Make sure to get your tickets in now. It's races 2, 4, and 6. It's the $1 all-turf pick 3 with a low 14% takeout. And why don't, since you're doing that, download the First Bet app. The First Bet app makes it easy. No lines, no hassle. Put money in, take money out, and cash all night long with First Bet and their app here at Canterbury Park. Good luck.
Sir Leonard Dykert brings them onto the track and subsequently a firm turf course to begin the $1 all-turf pick 3. No scratches, no rider changes to the gate. 5 minutes from now. Hey.
There is my ticket in our dollar minimum 14% takeout all turf pick 3. Now it spans races 2, 4, and 6 tonight, and he's the outside 3 to start things off. Didn't think Gypsy Wife would be 6 to 5. I thought these 3 would be a little bit closer on the board than they are at the moment, but I thought there might be a little bit more money going towards the inside too. I just tried to cover my bases with horses that had different styles in this one, but tried to stick with speed for the last 2. My top selection in both are horses that I think will be close to the front end, that being in the 4th, I'm a Harley 2, and in the 6th, Alquani. Now, both of those are going to be the rail horses. Both of them are going to be big prices, but Chocolate Ice Cream, Feeding Frenzy, and, some other horses make sense in those spots, but I wanted to leave it at an $18 ticket just because of the horses that I used in this leg. If you want to make your own, you do still have 4 minutes to do so. Remember, that's a dollar minimum. It's a 14% takeout wager. 2, 4, and 6 tonight compose the all-turf pick 3. That does start in race number 2, but before we get to it, yep, those are the beer pong buckets. Mick Ultra presents beer pong down here in the winner's circle. We got a couple of guys over here. Seth and Ryan said to throw some balls in here for some prizes. Pretty simple. Get it in the front, you get the daily double pack. Get it in the set of middle cups. Those 2 will throw in a t-shirt, and if you can get into the back row, we'll throw in a drawstring bag too. Sound good? You get a couple of tries at it. Give it your best. Very, very close. Tried for the front cup, right off the rim. Oh, very, very good shot. Good shot. That's the right technique. Now see if you can follow that up and sink one. Oh. I toss back to you. One more try. Oh, I'm so sorry. Right off the rim. You gave it a good shot. I'm so sorry, but you can come try it again sometime if you want to try one of these promos. Look for these lovely ladies around here. They can show you the ropes. And if you're looking for somewhere good to eat tonight, we have a couple of new locations around Canterbury. And we also have pizza and pasta on the first level. There's a lot of different options around here at Canterbury tonight. But for now, if you want to bet that turf pick 3, if you want to bet the second, you have 2 minutes to post.
They've reached the starting gate, and it is now post time. Post time for the second on a firm turf course, and the commencing of the 14% takeout $1 all turf pick 3. Had some short-priced winners in the debut of the all turf pick 3 last Wednesday, and it still paid 79 to 1. Intense Company, last in line. Gypsy Wife, favored. And they're racing all off in elite fashion, and getting the early edge is the Irish Intense Company. Intense Company and Jermaine Bridgemahan at 2.5 to 1 down to the inside, doing it stylishly, and now joined and passed by Gypsy Wife. And Gypsy Wife wants to go, pulling the leading man out of the saddle and opening up by 2.5. After that, Intense Company secures the inside. Then we come back to Fall Moon. The Tampa Steam's beginning to advance. Tom's Girl is looking to win 2 in a row in her turf debut, and Tom's Girl is about 7 lengths from the lead, and it's a lonely leader in the shape of Gypsy Wife. That lead is now 5. Hurricane Hunter, the field's lone Minnesotan, is about 8 from it, striding up to the outside of Tom's Girl, and Latin Nikita's 10 lengths rearmost, and now they have 3.5 to go, and they're chasing Harry, and Harry, along with Gypsy Wife, slow down a tad. The lead is 2. In second, Intense Company, still in intense fashion. After that, Fall Moon shoved on, likewise for Hurricane Hunter. Then we come to Tom's Girl, spinning the wheels a bit in the turf debut, and Latin Nikita's last, and up top, Gypsy Wife is first, and Gypsy Wife at 3 to 2 leads it, and Intense Company continues to bug to the outside, and they're locked in battle as they head for home. Latin Nikita's running on very quickly from 5 out of it. Gypsy Wife holding Intense Company at bay. Latin Nikita angles to the inside, but Gypsy Wife is too much for them, and Gypsy Wife prevails. Number 5, Gypsy Wife, first. 5614 unofficially in a fast 141.60. Hold them up. And race number 2, Binky's Sister, is official. On to the third. 5614, official in the second, back to a fast main track. And this one begins our 10% takeout, 50-cent pick 5. That 10% takeout, lowest in the country for pick 5s, no scratches. And post time about 22 minutes from now, thanks to Michelob Ultra and Ashley Furniture. By the way, Marshall Tucker Band is performing at Canterbury Friday, June 23rd. Marshall Tucker's Band at Canterbury a week from Friday. Tickets on sale at canterburypark.com/events. Into the winner's enclosure, it's Gypsy Wife and Harry Hernandez. Gypsy Wife is owned by Richard Perkins and the winning trainer, Kevin Eckleberry. The all-turf pick 3 begins with this girl, Gypsy Wife. And they're racing all off in elite fashion, and getting the early edge is the Irish Intense Company. Intense Company and Jermaine Bridgemahan at 2.5 to 1 down to the inside, doing it stylishly, and now joined and passed by Gypsy Wife. And Gypsy Wife wants to go, pulling the leading man out of the saddle and opening up by 2.5. After that, Intense Company secures the inside. Then we come back to Fall Moon. The Tampa Steam's beginning to advance. Tom's Girl is looking to win 2 in a row in her turf debut, and Tom's Girl is about 7 lengths from the lead, and it's a lonely leader in the shape of Gypsy Wife. That lead is now 5. Hurricane Hunter, the field's lone Minnesotan, is about 8 from it, striding up to the outside of Tom's Girl, and Latin Nikita's 10 lengths rearmost, and now they have 3.5 to go, and they're chasing Harry, and Harry, along with Gypsy Wife, slow down a tad. The lead is 2. In second, Intense Company, still in intense fashion. After that, Fall Moon shoved on, likewise for Hurricane Hunter. Then we come to Tom's Girl, spinning the wheels a bit in the turf debut, and Latin Nikita's last, and up top, Gypsy Wife is first, and Gypsy Wife at 3 to 2 leads it, and Intense Company continues to bug to the outside, and they're locked in battle as they head for home. Latin Nikita's running on very quickly from 5 drive out of it. Gypsy Wife holding intense company at bay, letting Nikita angles to the inside, but Gypsy Wife is too much for them, and Gypsy Wife prevails. Number 5, Gypsy Wife. First.
We're 9 minutes away from race number 3. And remember, we are going to be moving up post times due to the air. So get your bets in early. If you already know what you're going to do, get in line now because we are moving up post time slightly. And now we're 9 minutes away from race number 3. We got 5 in this group, and you and I were just musing before we turned on our mics. There is very little speed in the third. That's what led me to the 3. But what led you to Last Martini as you look through this 5-horse group?
Yeah, I think when you open up the racing form and start to dig in here in handicap, it's clear to me there is no other pace in the race outside of Furry Cap. The question for me was last couple of starts, off at 3-2, off at 3-5, off at 5-2, so off as the favorite, not finishing the deal. But this horse is going to have the bug boy, is getting weight, and is going to be, in my eyes, 3, 4, 5 lengths clear. Last Martini is a horse that, when I see a good trainer watch a horse turn in an effort like we saw Last Martini last time on the turf, draw a line through it. Didn't even happen. It was more of a fitness tightener. Didn't pick up the feet on the turf, gets a class drop, back on the main track, loves this main track. 3 wins from 6 starts on this main track, different horse on the dirt, and I think gets first run here. So Furry Cap is going to go out there and lead him, likely going to win the race, and I'll use that horse in my pick 5, which we'll get to momentarily. I think the only horse that can beat him is Last Martini, so I go 2, 3, and 1. And I really think it's a 2-horse race.
No, that's fair. And that's, I guess, the way that I looked at it, too, because Last Martini is so consistent when he gets in with this sort of group, and he goes 2 turns, a mile 70 relative on this main track. You see firsts, you see seconds, you see thirds, and you see races where he's able to stay closer to the pace because it's just naturally slower. He's probably going to get that kind of setup in here. I just wonder if Furry Cap doesn't get relaxed enough, and that seems to be the key with him, being able to at least relax for a quarter, get a breather somewhere along the way, which he hasn't been able to do in his last couple, whether the distance is 6.5, 6, or a mile. As long as Furry Cap can get that breather, and I think he can today, he is going to be really tough to run down. But Last Martini is very viable for all the reasons that you mentioned. Carlo Lopez is going to ride him, and he's had a number of riders in the past. In fact, I believe he was Ry Eckleberry's very last mount of his riding career, and he sent him out a winner.
Yeah, that was fun. Fun to see Ry go out a winner. You look at this race, you kind of peel back the layers, and you try to make cases for some long shots that maybe are going to get overlooked. The 2 and 3 are going to dominate in the pick 5. They're going to dominate in the win pools. Let's take a peek at the 1, though. The 1 is a horse that, last time out was facing Allowance Company, and it doesn't look good. But you get Tim Padilla, you get, Constantino Roman, and you get a horse that, if this horse can get back to that Tampa form we saw in February, that's a race that would be competitive against this field. Go back to February 19th, Angela. Okay. That race right there, that 72 buyer speed figure against some nice optional allowance claimers, probably gets the job done. The question is, can that horse get back to that form? If you're willing to take a price and take a chance, I think the 1 is maybe one of those long shots that could sneak in.
Well, you put him in third, and I put the horse that's just walking off screen right now in third. That's Make Noise. And be forgiving with me if you just say he's not a turf horse, and he tried the turf for the second time last time. It didn't go very well. But prior to that, had run at this level down at Oaklawn Park, though, where it's even a little bit deeper water in all claiming levels, and had been posting second and thirds, very useful closing sorts of efforts. Do you think that the pace will compromise him too much, and that's why you didn't use him in there? Or do you think that Make Noise maybe just fits in better and likes the Oaklawn surface, and the 3 for 44 record was just too much for you to swallow?
I'd like him in a bigger field where there's going to be some honest pace. Yep. He's a horse that has no natural speed and just comes with a run. And, like I mentioned earlier, Kelsey Hart's sitting on some wins. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if the pace is going to come back to Make Noise enough, but you can see right there.
You stand alone.
I stand alone. I'm flying solo here with my guy Carlo Lopez on Last Martini. Great little race within the race, and it is pick 5 time here once the horses get on the track.
All right. Well, you take us through your ticket in just a moment. Right now, Lynn Dykert will bring them out to the track for race number 3. 5 minutes to build your own pick 5.
And here they come for the third. No scratches.
It's time now for our power play of the night. We try to isolate a horse later in the card, help you make money. Going to close out the pick 5 with a pick 5 single. Race 7, I like the 5, Spoiled Brat. Let's take a look at a couple angles here. Number 1, we see Barejas, who rode this horse last time, is back in the saddle. Bailout Keela, who finished first in that race and beat us by 5 1/4, has come back last weekend to face winners and look good doing that. And then the trainer, Miguel Angel Silva, awesome in maiden claimers, 20% winners, awesome second time back off a layoff. And what I love about Spoiled Brat is this is a horse that did all the dirty work last time. It's a maiden race. This horse is on the pace, and they went quick. For a maiden claimer at Canterbury, 22 flat and 45 and change is moving right along. In between horses is the eventual winner of that race in the green cap. This horse was pinned on the inside in a 3-horse pace battle with honest fractions. And what I love about this is this horse never quits. Yes, the horse gets beat by 5 lengths, but beats the balance of the field who had the better trip and set off the pace. Tonight, that horse isn't going to be here. This horse is going to be loose on the lead. And in a maiden claimer at 5 furlongs, if you can get loose, you can win. I like Spoiled Brat. I'm focusing all my late attention on this horse, and you'll see on my pick 5 ticket that we're going to make some money by singling this horse. And let's take a look at that pick 5 ticket quickly here. The pick 5 tonight I've assembled is $36. I'll start with the 2 and the 3 here. The 2 primary horses. One has speed. One should get that stalking trip and get first run. I got a spread in race 4. Really good turf race. I'll use 2, 3, 5, and 8. 5 is my top pick, but do not sleep on both the 2 and the 3. I believe very live long shots there. I'll use 1, 3, and 7 in the 5th. Another race where I think there could be an upset. And I think Lyrical on the outside at near 5-1 is a horse you're going to want to focus in on that pick 5. Race 6, another turf race. Another race that I think is open. 2, 4, 5, and 8 for me. I've got With Her Boots on top at 9-2. And we're going to single Spoiled Brat. We're going to single the power play here and get that money in the pick 5. Let's get some prices early. Let's get Spoiled Brat home late. And let's get those pick 5 tickets in. We're inside of 2 minutes right now. It's a 10% takeout. It's the best value in horse racing nationwide. Play the pick 5 at Canterbury. They're approaching the gate.
Into the gate is post time. Two back. One out. Joker Matt, Adamar Santos.
Got a horse back. You're locked.
And they're racing. The quintet was off as one. Fury Cap, the hot favorite, looks to cap race number 3 with a wire-to-wire victory, and Fury Cap runs away by 2. Ghost Stalker is stalking indeed, now 4 lengths behind. The tearaway leader and favored Fury Cap. After that, Last Martini, the Minnesotan, is third, racing in path 3. And to the outside of Joker Matt, the white horse in last, is Make Noise. 9 from front to back as they head up the Canterbury Park barn side. And Fury Cap now leads it by 5 with 5 to go. Ghost Stalker, number 1, is currently second, about a length and a half clear from Last Martini. That one's put under a ride by Carlo Lopez and is going the wrong way. After that, Joker Matt beginning to advance. Meanwhile, Fury Cap still by 5. And Kelsey takes Make Noise to the outside. That's the white horse, 8 lengths behind. Fury Cap, and the People's Choice is out for a Wednesday night stroll at this stage. The lead still is 5, and Roman ships all in on Ghost Stalker. After that, Joker Mac sneaking through on the inside, but Matt still has a lot of work to do with Last Martini, and still nothing from Make Noise, who's quite silent. And up top, Fury Cap still has a clear lead. It is Fury Cap and Delor Barrios Lopez by 3. Ghost Stalker giving absolutely everything. Then it's Make Noise to the outside, but Fury Cap has built his house on rock, and he's solid by 1. 3-1-4 in race 3. And the third race is official. And to the winner's circle, Fury Cap and Daylor Barrios Lopez. The winning owners, Taboada Racing, and the winning trainer, Jose Silva Jr. Race number 4 is on the firm turf course. Pick 4 wagering on races 5 through 7. We have no scratches. This one is courtesy of Maker's Mark and Jim Beam Bourbon. And they're racing. The quintet was off as one. Fury Cap, the hot favorite, looks to cap race number 3 with a wire-to-wire victory, and Fury Cap runs away by 2. Ghost Stalker is stalking indeed, now 4 lengths behind. The tearaway leader and favored Fury Cap. After that, Last Martini, the Minnesotan is third, racing in path 3. And to the outside of Joker Matt, the white horse in last, is Make Noise. 9 from front to back as they head up the Canterbury Park barn side. And Fury Cap now leads it by 5 with 5 to go. Ghost Stalker, number 1, is currently second, about a length and a half clear from Last Martini. That one's put under a ride by Carlo Lopez and is going the wrong way. After that, Joker Matt beginning to advance. Meanwhile, Fury Cap still by 5. And Kelsey takes Make Noise to the outside. That's the white horse, 8 lengths behind. Fury Cap, and the People's Choice is out for a Wednesday night stroll at this stage. The lead still is 5, and Roman ships all in on Ghost Stalker. After that, Joker Mac sneaking through on the inside, but Matt still has a lot of work to do with Last Martini, and still nothing from Make Noise, who's quite silent. And up top, Fury Cap still has a clear lead. It is Fury Cap and Daylor Barrios Lopez by 3. Ghost Stalker giving absolutely everything. Then it's Make Noise to the outside, but Fury Cap has built his house on rock, and he's solid by 1. 3-1-4 in race 3.
Okay, race number 4, after the favorite prevails to start the pick 5, still, I believe, lots of opportunities for prices. And Angela, I know you've got a price horse here. I thought the turf races in this sequence, in the pick 5, would provide some real potential for big numbers. And speaking of turf races and big numbers, we're just starting to handicap for next Wednesday. It's one of our focal points each and every year, Northern Stars Turf Festival. Just scratching the surface, your early assessment of that card.
My very early assessment of the card is it's going to be tough because I have to try not to pick horses who like won last year or like She Can't Sing, or have the biases with horses who were in great spots last year, maybe not being in the same setups this year. But as this event keeps going on, you'll have horses that return. So I guess that's my very earliest thoughts. I'm trying not to go with some of the horses I've seen win here before, but that's going to be difficult because there are some formidable ones who are looking to defend their titles or who have done very well on this course before.
Yeah, big stars on display. Jockeys headlined by Florent Giroux. Trainers headlined by Brad Cox. I mean, it's an unbelievable night of racing. Make plans to watch and wager. Come out here if you're in town next Wednesday. The Turf Festival Spectacular. We have, of course, that $1 all-turf pick 3. We have a pick 5 sequence with all 5 races on the grass. It's going to be a wonderful card. We'll whet your appetite, maybe build your bankroll for that right now. And Angela, on cue, there's your top pick in the race at a price. Tell us more.
I'm a Harley, too, is one of the vets we see a lot around here at Canterbury. Even though he's only raced 24 times, he's 7, and they pick their spots very carefully, apparently with I'm a Harley, too. I think we were talking with Jay before the races, now the past few years. His second race off the layoff, he's run second, and he's won the last 2. And I'm a Harley, too, usually does those in front-running fashion. And just like last race, I was looking around for horses that wanted to go and push things along, and I see a lot of horses that like to sit in the second tier. Carmenutes, Club Mesquite, Mishko, Thick Haze, Feeding Frenzy, a lot of them like to be in the same spot early on, and it's just behind the early leader. They're going to throw blinkers on I'm a Harley, too. I'm sure Alonso Quinones is not going to have him very far off the pace. The rail was the main drawback for me. I mean, if this horse doesn't break quick, he could be in a tough spot, but I think that Alonso should be a perfect fit for him, and I'm a Harley, too, is going to make the rest of them run him down.
Yeah, I think he, from the inside, gets the lead. There isn't a ton of speed in here. I think you're onto something here, and a horse I would absolutely use in all my exotic wagers. I'm on Thick Haze. Anyone can find this horse. 5 for 9 on the Canterbury turf. Heartbreaking loss last time to King Nate, who was very well meant and won easily. Thick Haze is the horse to beat. The horse I want to talk about, though, is the horse on the outside. Race number 1 this season was May the 27th, and Chocolate Ice Cream was super impressive. Pace was hot, was set up nicely by some fast fractions, but after getting bumped at the break and having a little traffic into that first turn, just ran a huge race. This horse is going to be a price here, and I'm telling you right now, if somebody dares go with that one horse that Angela's touting, and the pace is honest again. All right, we just got the update from downstairs in the middle of our paddock preview that with the air quality situation here in Shakopee, unfortunately, we are going to have to postpone racing for the night. So the paddock preview will have to wait. We just got the update here as we're on the air, Angela.
Yep, just
and
came
again,
in.
thinking of the safety of everybody involved here, specifically the equine athletes, we are going to unfortunately have to postpone racing for the rest of the evening. Stay tuned. Paul Allen, I'm certain, will have an update on all the particulars.
Right. We will have any sort of payouts coming, consolations. All payouts will be posted, and all of the explanations going along with each one are upcoming with Paul Allen. Again, the horses are now going to go get unsaddled for race number 4. Racing has been canceled for the remainder of the evening, and it is due to safety concerns with the air quality. Stand by. Paul Allen will be coming up with those payouts and results shortly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, due to unhealthy air quality, Canterbury Park, as you heard from Angela and/or Kevin, has canceled racing for the remainder of the evening. When it comes to wagers, we will let you know how those work out with the alter pick 3, etc. And if you are leaving Canterbury Park, we are distributing admission passes for a future trip to the park. And we have Canterbury Park team members at the entrance/exits delivering admission passes for the next time you come to Canterbury. Stand by for mutual related information. Ladies and gentlemen, via the cancellation of racing the rest of the evening due to the unhealthy air quality in Shakopee, here is some wagering information for you, some refund information regarding a bevy of bets. Regarding the pick 4 that began in race number 1, the post time pick 4, that will pay on 3 of 4 winners. The numbers are 3, 5, 3, then all. So that's how the post time pick 4 pays, 3, 5, 3, all. With race number 2 and the all turf pick 3, that's a refund. Per Minnesota Racing Commission rules, we only ran one of the 3 races, which triggers a refund under these circumstances. So the all turf pick 3 is completely refundable. In race number 3, with the pick 3 and the pick 5, both of those are complete refunds. We're refunding pick 3 and pick 5 wagers that began with race 3. The daily double into race number 4 from race 3 will pay 3 with all. And obviously all wagers from races 4 on are refundable. If you are leaving Canterbury, don't forget we have team members by the entrances distributing admission passes for a free trip to the park at a future date. The next time we race live is Saturday at 5 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, the post time pick 4 pays $47.35. 353 all. $47.35, and the double from race 3 to race 4, 3 with all, pays $1.60.